Many of these children will see their birthplace in the foreseeable future. This report was produced.
Oranienmoed is now proclaimed an open town. No longer company-run, the local authority is engaging in new and exciting investment ventures. I am meeting with the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Shali Akwanyenga, to tell us about town transformation and this big change. Mr. Akwanyenga, thank you very much for welcoming us to the Oranienmoed Town Council.
Thank you, Shane.
Mr. Akwanyenga, thank you very much for welcoming us. Let's start at the very beginning. Oranienmoed is now proclaimed an open town, so to speak. What are some of the challenges associated with shifting it from or normalizing the town from a company-run town to now a local authority?
Development is about people, and development is about partnership. We're collaborating with various stakeholders to ensure that we make a meaningful contribution to the realization of town transformation of the town, because that's very important. So in terms of housing, we have collaboration with Sheikh Dwella, for example, because the current market demands of housing is really in your typical low-income groups. And obviously we're collaborating with government. On a yearly basis, we receive funding that towards infrastructure development, land, and especially land. In terms of local economic development, we're collaborating with OMDis, for example, as well as other private sectors and public sectors, so that all of us make a huge contribution to the normalization of the town.
Absolutely. The town council as a key role player in town transformation. What is the role then of the local authority in normalizing the town?
No town transformation is an easy task, all right? Because typically, you're managing the interest and expectation of various stakeholders. And our role from day one was to ensure that the transition from a mining-run town is as smooth as possible. And also to mitigate some risk that could come with a transition. That's very important for us. So we realized that earlier on that for us to be able to be very successful, the key element is community participation. And obviously you also then need to broaden it with other stakeholders. And that's why, for example, other structures were able to be created. We start with a TTF, Town Transformation Forum. We have the OMD 2030 that speaks to how do we get the community access and make contribution and participate in issues related to town transformation. And then obviously we then said, how do we ensure that, beyond the transfer of assets and services and property ownership, how do we ensure that there's future sustainability? And that's why the two role player, which is NAMDEB and ourselves, we said, let's create a special vehicle, which is now called OMDis, so that jointly with council, we are able to then make a meaningful contribution in realigning and re-engineering the social condition of the town.
As a local authority and the community coming together.
Yeah.
What makes Oranienmoed unique for investment opportunities?
It's important that, when you talk about unique investment opportunity, you need to align that to what are the resources that are available that should support those unique opportunities. Now, Oranienmoed is well known for diamonds. Now, if you want to undertake a development related to diamond, for example, diamond polishing factory, where do you get it? it's here. That's the resource that is at our disposal to ensure that at least it's make a meaningful contribution. We have resources, water. If you want to undertake agriculture, obviously we can tap from that resource of the river. If you want to undertake agriculture, equally we have the sea. Now, all these resources are very important. Now, if you want to, more often people talk about tourism. What is in tourism? We need to define what is in tourism. Now, we have the national park. How do we ensure that it's connected to tourism in terms of concession, so that the community of Oranienmund benefit, but not only the community of Oranienmund, but it goes beyond Ludret's house, the region, the country, and everybody. Those are the elements that need to be honest and nature, so that we then make a meaningful contribution to the total town transformation of Oranienmund and its people.
Hearing you speak, I'm actually getting excited about the future of Oranienmund. What are the current projects that the Oranienmund Town Council are running, getting us closer to this transformation process?
Look, earlier on I mentioned the challenge that we're facing is connected to the same question. Now, it's a project that we are undertaking to ensure that we equally add value to the real transformation of the town and to ensure future sustainability of the town. The backlog that we have is in housing, for example, infrastructure development, slow economic growth. What we are doing is basically to identify those projects, so that those projects that came out as a result of a participation of the town, the community, to say these are the challenges that are facing us. What are we going to do about it? Now again, the key element, you need your community to buy what you are doing and to support, but equally you also need a collaboration with other private sectors. The public sector, I mentioned that government is doing what it can with what it has to make sure that at least housing and other social services are provided for. But the collaboration becomes very key in ensuring that when we talk about projects, who is going to fund those projects? You need partner in private sector, you need partner in public sectors. You also need businesses, so that at least they also make a contribution to and the local people,
yes,
and the individuals, yes, like yourself.
Yes.
So you should be able to appreciate the location of Oranienmund, to say, look, this is a preferred destination for investment. This is a preferred destination for
raising a family.
Exactly. Peace of mind.
Absolutely. I'm actually thinking about that while you were talking about it, buying a house in Oranienmund.
Yeah,
Before we finish off with you, I have one more question. Your vision for Oranienmund in 2030, where you see the town progressing towards in 2030?
There's one thing that I always tell people, look, Oranienmund it's a Oranienmund name, it's a brand, right? It's easy to market Oranienmund. Okay. It's easy to sell Oranienmund. It has hosted so many people, right? During the early days of 1936 up until now, working, live and have family here. So the location of Oranienmund become very key in really transforming Oranienmund, because we're very well placed in terms of connectivity by road, by air, in terms also accessing the international market and the local market. Now, what is our vision? The vision is a shared vision that we have helped to develop jointly as a community. What we're basically implementing is the ideal, the needs, aspirations of the people of Oranienmund. Now, to support our vision, as I said earlier, we need to identify growth potential projects or area that can speak to short term, to medium term, to long term, so that all these projects then become the key driver of economic transformation of the town. Now, once we do that, again, it's important that you cannot do development and talk about a vision without participation of all stakeholders. Now, once we do that, we believe that by 2030, for example, we have given ourselves a 10 year, between 10 years and 15 years to transform the town. Now, we believe by 2030 we should have been able to create multiple industries, be small, be larger, that could continue to support the future sustainability and also support and complement the current existing, be it mine production, be it the businesses that are here, so that at least all this we should be able to create those multiple industries to ensure future sustainability of Oranjemund. I have no doubt, I can tell you that Oranjemund will succeed. If we keep the same pose, the same energies, and the same focus, Oranjemund eventually will succeed.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
And that was the CEO of the Oranjemund Town Council, Mr. Shali Akwanyenga, sharing insights into the exciting new business and developmental potential of Oranjemund. Thank you for watching.
Step up. But only one team has what it takes to be champion of the world. The ICC T20 World Cup. Only on SuperSport, your world of champions. Stay connected to DSTV for all the big hits and nail-biting action.
Mpaka tuyadha otuli pamwe nangoe mompombo mainyanyudho ote ya mukuru okuzangenea toterwe mombo omaovigali kupeigiali omrunga radio ogwakala nokukundaneka okunyanyudha nokuyakuroshiwana omrunga radio yotango monamibia.
There's no price like the ShopRite price, which means you'll get low prices on everything you need, like Right Brand sunflower oil for only $59.99 and Marathon fine white sugar just $72.99. The ShopRite price, the price you can trust, always.
So, it's just the two of us. Can't beat this.
Beat this?
Oh, hey.
You can't beat the Champions League,
Europa League, La Liga, Serie A,
and the Premier League.
all 380 matches of it, with its own dedicated SuperSport channel, Maji.
Get a HD decoder, dish kit, and 1 month of DSTV compact for only 1,099 Namibian dollars.
With trusted quality and great value on all Clicks brand products, switch and save. Buy Clicks Hygiene Liquid, $54.99 each. Buy Clicks Paracetamol, 500 milligrams, 24 tablets, 2 for $35. And buy Clicks Effervescent Granules, 2 for $132. Or buy any 3 Clicks Essentials health products, cheapest one free. Clicks, feel good, pay less.
Capturing the end of an era and the beginning of a new dawn is a story that can strongly be told through the art of photography. That is the story of the Oranjemund Photo Lab. With a background in journalism and media technology, you have taken the love for photography and the art, your passion, mixed it with the love of Oranjemund and build this photo lab. Tell us about your connection and how you connect those two things.
Yeah, I think it's about people for me, and our slogan for Monument Photo Lab is about capturing and displaying light. So it's people. People inspire me, and when I was here in 2008 and 2009, I schooled here just for those short 2 years, and people inspired me again. It was the teachers, the motivation and inspiration I got from teachers that brought out the best in me, and I want to be able to be a part of that ecosystem of people who bring out the best in others, and capture that beauty in each person and display that light.
Tell us about what makes Oranjemund unique. Why is this the place where the lens really needs to come and see?
Yes, I think because we've all mentioned this, it's been isolated for many years. What makes it unique, not just the Hemsbok and the wildlife, I think again it's people. What makes it so unique is that we've had a certain way of living in this town for so many years, and what I'm challenged by as a communications and marketing professional, I'm challenged by the opportunity of persuading and changing mindsets, of helping, showing that there are opportunities and possibilities beyond what the town's harvested for 80 plus years, and to show that we can do something different, we can do something new, and that's what inspires me. There's a lot of untouched ground in just possibilities with business that it would possibly be available and is available in many other small towns, but because it's a newly opened town, there's just so much more opportunity for new young people, fresh blood, to come and try these new things and just be audacious in our dreams. Yeah,
it's beautiful. That's a story that needs to be told. How about serving and supporting the community? You've got the photo lab. You're also very involved through your work in OMDis. Serving and supporting the community, how do you do it?
What I did was I got myself involved with the community organization OMD 2030, which is all about creating a culturally and economically diverse town, and just also about that mind shift and helping us adjust to the new possibilities that Oranjemund does have now that it's open. So I involved myself with them. Within the first year I was just a member, where we contribute in ideas and in just volunteering with projects with the community. By the second year I became a part of the management committee as the secretary, and 2020 I'm now the treasurer of the organization. So it just also helps me just be more involved, get out of myself, be involved with what's going on in the community, where can we be assistance, and any support at all.
The Oranjemund Photo Lab is a fairly new business. What prospects have come off or out of it?
Yeah, I think many people still remember the old Oranjemund Photo Lab before I came here. It was just about taking passport photos, selling batteries, just general photography equipment. But now we don't only do that, we try and diversify as much as possible. We've got equipment for branding. We're all about also helping businesses become more aware, or creating more awareness for businesses in the customer's eyes. So branding we do. I also do market research for an organization such as OMDis. They've been a great client in the second year now. And what we do there is OMDis and our marketing business, we go out, we reach all the businesses in town, engage with the owners, try and assess what are their needs, what are their challenges, and where can OMDis come in and support and help. We meet on a one-on-one basis and just building that trust from the ground up. And OMDis is doing a great job in just taking this further and helping marketing the town and its businesses.
Describe the future of the Oranjemund that you would like to see from your experiences, and where you see it going into the future.
With my work with OMD 2030 and with OMDis, I've always had the dream before about collaboration and understanding how the world is moving, understanding what collaboration is and how powerful we are working together. and for the future taking hands with these stakeholders, with public institutions as well as the private institutions. Really, collaboration is what I want to see more of for the future of Oranjemund. What we do with the Oranjemund Photo Lab, we collaborate with local producers, local entrepreneurs as well. We sell products for entrepreneurs who are trying to just break into the market, test their products. We help them and we collaborate with them. We've got local craftsmen producing frames, customized frames, standard frames. But really, I would like to see more of that with other businesses, us taking hands like that, because that's the only way forward. I see us as an ecosystem, as I mentioned earlier. We, as nature, we need to, and we should replicate that. Sometimes a lot of this gets lost with the bottom line, but at the end of the day, we need to realize we are people, and people are the assets. And how can we take our hands together? How can we use our diversity? Because in our strength actually lies in our diversity, and to bring out that best, to be the better. And I'd like to see Oranjemund to be that example for not only this small town, but for other small towns and for the rest of Namibia.
Thank you very much, Sheena.
Thank you, Shay.
That was Sheena, the owner of the Oranjemund Photo Lab, ready to capture the essence of your visit to Oranjemund. Thank you for joining us.
COVID-19 affects people very differently. Many people show no symptoms at all, but some are hospitalized for weeks. So what does the disease do to your body? The coronavirus enters through the mouth, nose or eyes. It then usually attaches itself to cells lining the nose, throat, airways or lungs. It can turn these cells into factories that multiply and spread the virus. For the majority, a fever, cough and breathlessness are as bad as it gets. But the virus can damage the small blood vessels lining the lungs and initiate clotting. The alveoli are tiny air sacs where oxygen goes into the blood. If they become inflamed, it can trigger pneumonia. Seriously ill patients need to be given oxygen as the lungs fill with fluid and debris.
I legit couldn't breathe. My oxygen meter was measuring under 88% oxygen levels, which is very dangerous. And the only time I ever thought my life was in danger was at that point.
COVID-19 doesn't just affect the lungs. It can also disrupt the immune system, which is used by the body to fight illnesses. Cytokines are part of the immune system that find and signal infections. For some people with severe COVID-19, this system can go into overdrive. If too many cytokines build up, it can cause an overreaction that damages healthy cells. This is called a cytokine storm for the most severe cases. COVID-19 can lead to seizures or even a coma. It can also cause brain problems that lead to strokes. The immune system overreacting can cause clots that stop the blood supply to parts of the brain. Brain inflammation, psychosis and dementia-like symptoms can also affect seriously ill patients. The average length of the illness is 14 days, but many people have symptoms for much longer. Breathing problems and post-viral fatigue last for months in some cases.
I cannot walk for long simply because I will feel a little bit short of breath and I feel the need to sit down. And that's something that has never happened to me before.
Some of the people who are most likely to develop severe symptoms are older adults and those with underlying health conditions. It's not fully known how anyone will react to COVID-19 until they get it. So it's important for everyone to follow health guidance. What precautions are you taking to stay safe?
Humanitarian crises are all too familiar to television viewers. Civil wars that cause huge movements of refugees, worldwide pandemics, and natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis. This is the way most of us are used to seeing these heart-wrenching events, on a screen in front of us, watching passively. But what if you could step into the frame and actually feel what it's like for the individuals on the ground?
People come out of it feeling enlightened and often moved and often ready to take action. A lot of people automatically say, well, what can I do? How can I get involved?
Garbo Aurora is leading a team at the United Nations who are using cutting-edge technology to raise awareness, empathy, and funds, both to respond to humanitarian crises and to bolster support for a new set of sustainable development goals around the globe.
Virtual reality is the ability to really take part in a story that usually you're only a passive spectator on. And you actually get the sensation of feeling like you're being there.
By using multiple cameras that can record in all directions and software that can stitch the images together, virtual reality creates an experience that enables the viewer to see a movie from every angle, above, below, and behind.
It's exciting for the UN, to be involved in some of those early experiments of how we're trying to tell stories, make these films, and work with some of the most cutting-edge people in the industry on it.
So the UN reached out to us and connected, and we realized that there was a great opportunity here to tell some very important stories and to tell them in a way that we thought would be totally new and highly impactful. The way that I define virtual reality at this point in time is basically the hacking of your senses to convince you that you're somewhere other than where you are. Often, I think of it as a sense of vulnerability. So one of the things we've realized in some of our stories is you have a heightened sense of empathy and a heightened sense of connection as a result of that vulnerability.
That heightened sense of connection and empathy was exactly what Garbo Aurora was looking to create at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Not only to inspire leaders to take action, but also to influence donors to increase funding for disaster response efforts.
I'd started experimenting with using innovative ways of advocacy, and I started talking to a lot of different partners and people. What could we do that would be incredible? And someone said, I just came from a meeting at Samsung, and, with some of these other virtual reality headsets, wouldn't it be amazing if you got all of those elite people who could actually go to a refugee camp, or they could go to an Ebola clinic? I just really felt it would get our issues highlighted.
In addition to the screenings at Davos, virtual reality portals have been set up to view the films at high-level political forums around the world. The virtual reality film on display was Clouds Over Sidra.
Clouds Over Sidra is a short film in virtual reality about a girl named Sidra who lives in Zatari camp, which is a Syrian refugee camp in Jordan. And it is a story about a young girl who is giving you a tour of the camp, of what it's like, what her life is like. When the film debuted in Davos, it was a sensation to everyone we showed it to. They come out of it very deeply moved. I'd say half the people who watch Clouds Over Sidra cry. And then we cut a version for UNICEF for its face-to-face fundraisers. The way they do that is usually someone with a clipboard on the street in Europe or in different countries. So they thought, well, what if we got people to experience virtual reality on the street?
Quite sad. They don't have a good environment to stay. We try our best to help them.
Early reporting from UNICEF has shown that when using virtual reality, they've doubled the effectiveness of their fundraising efforts. This report was produced by Ben Lybrand for the United Nations.